O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye pathmakers of old, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of our bloodlines, ancestors of all of the lineages to whom we attune, Namaste. Om Shri Babaji Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasayaji Namaha. Om Shri Yukteswarji Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yoganandaji Namaha. Om Shri Shaliji Namaha. Om Shri Kriyanandaji Namaha. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names, in all of thy forms, and in thy formless reality, Yanamaha, be with us, bless us, guide us, lift us. May this meditation be a great blessing to each of us as we walk into this full moon in Capricorn. Om me padme hum. Om me padme hum. Om me padme hum. May your heart open. May you find steadiness. May the compassion of life flow through you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, Namaskar. Welcome to the full moon in Capricorn. Oh, we have so much to discover today. The full moon in Capricorn invites us to stability. It invites us to steadiness. It invites us to be present. It teaches us about the spiritual life. It teaches us, me and you, you and me, that the spiritual life is not built of great dramatic moments. Oh, that is really one of the alluring aspects of the spiritual life, is you think something great, big, dramatic is going to happen. It's not the way it works. The spiritual life is your everyday life, and it is built of all of these little moments, these little decisions that you make, one after another, after another, after another. It's through your quiet acts of devotion, repeated acts of devotion. Breathing. It's through breathing, just breathing every day. It's through breathing. It's through prayer. It's through breathing, sitting, forgiving, and returning again and again and again and again and again and again, my beloved. The full moon in Capricorn reminds us that we have to keep returning again and again and again. One time, a few breaths ago, I was having spiritual indigestion, one might say. And I had looked in the mirror spiritually and was really, really pretty bummed out. I was pretty bummed out. There was a problem I had that I had been working on for a long time, it seemed. Probably many lifetimes. And I, in a moment of, I guess, great wisdom and showing the deepness of the despair that I was in, I went to my guru and I said, Pranananda, I'm sorry, but look, I've been a disciple for, I've been a Swami for, I've been doing these practices for, and look. Don't worry about it, Swamiji. You'll get another swing at the bat. You'll have another chance. The aspects will come again. You have this life and it'll repeat itself again and again and again. You'll have another chance. And he said, and what you're facing, you, me, and Shelley too. We all face it. And so what I'm saying to you today is repetition, repetition, repetition. And when you miss the mark, as you perceive it in your own mind, when you do something that you think is missing the mark, I'm not saying be cavalier. I'm saying, okay, be kind to yourself and say, now, the next time this comes around, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it differently? What am I going to do better the next time, more skillfully? For when we err, what happens? When we err, we have the opportunity to build the skills for the next time that the circumstance occurs. And you may say, well, it can never occur exactly the same. And I'm saying, no, don't be so sure. All the symbolism occurs again and again and again and again. Now, full moon in Capricorn, guess what happens? It looks across the sky. Can't just be hanging out there by itself. And it sees Cancer. It invites us to look at the sun in Cancer. And the sun in Cancer is service. It's nurturing. It is, it's feeling, if you will. It's also emoting, which we don't want to talk about very often, but really what this opposition says to us is that, well, those who serve, as the Capricorns do, must care for the one who is serving. As you give to others, you have to care for yourself. You have to care for your body, you have to care for your mind, you have to get enough sleep. And you have to recognize responsibility and care is love. So our prayer today is, may responsibility become love, made visible. Taking responsibility, helping, serving in practical ways is taking that love and making it visible. Carrying the bag is taking the love and making it visible. But as you walk along the spiritual path, there's a necessity. As you mature, as you're walking in your life of maturity, there's a real necessity to recognize discipline without strain. Commitment to your practice, commitment to what you have vowed to do without anxiety. No worrying about it, no noodling over it, no continuing to, oh geez, I wonder, nitty. And most importantly, at this moment, to really see is to have compassion without exhausting yourself. Compassion for those who are facing more harder difficulties than you are. But do not exhaust yourself. Now, Mercury moves retrograde this week, again. And somebody said to me yesterday, does any other planet move retrograde? I said, oh yeah. Don't talk about it quite as much as Mercury, but this is a time to reflect, to listen before acting. Stop, reflect, and listen. At the same time, Jupiter has moved into Leo, and that's a time to discover your courage, to rediscover courage. We need courage as we walk through life. Courage to be present. Courage to stand up. To stand up again and again and again and again and again. Courage to put our own ego needs aside and to keep walking. Keep walking that path. Once upon a yogi time, there was an elderly yogi. You know what an elderly yogi looks like. Let's just say an elder. And he lived halfway up the mountain. And every single day he would go down to the stream, bring up 2 buckets of water, carry them up for himself and the people who lived nearby. And a young disciple said to him one day, Master, why are you still carrying the water every day? Surely somebody else can do this. Surely one of the disciples can do it. Surely you deserve to rest. But every day I see you're schlepping these buckets up the mountain and they don't look very light. And the master said, I don't really carry the water anymore. In the beginning, my shoulders and my arms carried the water. Then after a while, my ego and my ambition carried the water. But I kept walking every day, day after day after day. Sometimes, if it was hot, twice a day. Now I don't carry the water. My arms don't carry it. My ego doesn't carry it. My feet don't carry it. The mountain holds me, carries me, and sustains me. And the mountain carries the water. The mountain carries the water. Remember, on my carrying the water, there was one time I was carrying it because I wanted to be enlightened. And I thought that carrying the water would make me enlightened. And I gave that up. And when I gave that desire up, that last desire up, the mountain became the carrier of the water. I was just present. I was present. I was there. My presence is all that was needed. And so, perhaps the question this full moon for you to ask, for me to ask certainly, is not how can I do more? But, and I think this is so vital, what weight are you carrying that was never yours to carry? What are you carrying around that has never been yours to carry? What shame? Because someone said something to you about the behavior of your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle. What shame are you carrying? The master said to the disciple, the burden was never the water. The burden is I thought I was carrying the world. What world are you carrying that was never yours to carry? A few moons ago, when my bonus mother was still here on the earth, she was very, very interested in her genealogy. And so there was a young friend of the family who was doing some genealogical research for her. And he went back to Sweden, which is where her family was from. And he found some records in Sweden. And among the records was a record of her great, I think it was 3 or 4 greats back. I don't remember how many greats it was, excuse me, but it was in the lineage. Grandmother, who had 5 children and 5 fathers for the children. And that young man went to my bonus mother, having decided, of all the stories in the world that he could have told, of all the stories in the world he could have told, of all the ways that one could look at that, he chose one way. And he said, did you know your great, 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 great grandmother was? And she was devastated. She was devastated. So I called him and I said, where did you arrive with that conclusion? Oh, he told me. Well, what other conclusion could you draw from seeing that? And I told him all of the various conclusions that I thought that could be drawn from that, and all the circumstances that I could think of in that moment that could have led to that. And he was quite taken aback, and I said, I think you need to go back to her and apologize to her and say it was just your imagination that used that word. She didn't talk very much for 2 days after he said that. She was very embarrassed. And I went to her and I said, do not pick up this shame. You don't know the story. Don't pick up the shame. That wasn't yours to begin with, and probably isn't even hers to begin with. And so, what are you carrying? What burdens are you carrying of other people? What has your family done, some member of your family done that you don't feel is right? Which of your friends is ill right now? I have a lot of them that our bodies are not doing so well. Don't carry their pain. Don't carry their suffering. Look around the world. How many people are in really, really rough circumstances? People sleeping in the streets, their homes bombed and torn apart, etc., etc., etc. Dying of diseases, running rampant through the countries. It's not your burden to carry. It's not your weight to carry. It's not your responsibility to carry. It's not your dharma to carry. Do not become indifferent. The full moon in Capricorn says we never become indifferent. But you must learn to see, to be present, that your presence is enough, that your presence with kindness, with love, with compassion is enough. That you have the capacity to let go, my beloved, really, to let go of your desires for the reality to be different than it is. Change your own reality. Change your own view. Change what you are carrying that is the burden. And do not worry about others. Be a blessing to them. Call upon life, that the energy of life will bless them, that all the helpers of life will bless them, that they will have what they need. Don't worry about trying to solve the problem for them. No, don't worry about it. Come back again and again and again. And as you walk through life, you will be faced with, you will see again and again and again, circumstances that you cannot control. The only thing that we can control is our reaction. And sometimes that's hard to control, but we have to try. We must try. And so I'm going to ask you a question and ask you to reflect on this question for a minute. In fact, I'm going to turn the camera to the altar so we can have a little rest and see. And as I ask the questions, let the answers come up from your heart. Let it come up from your awareness, gently, softly, and easily, so that you can take those answers with you today as you walk forward. Focus your attention at your sun center and allow it to become a mirror in your mind. Gently watch your breath, inhaling and exhaling. And in this full moon, ask the question, where have you confused? Where are you confusing tension with commitment? Hold the thoughts that come to your mind. And now in your mind's eye, see the light pouring down upon you. And take this circumstance. Using your breath, allow the light to dissolve. Allow your breath to dissolve the tension. Don't worry about doing it forever. Just for this moment, breathe in, exhale, inhale and exhale, letting go of the tension. Now turn your awareness to your mind's eye again. And ask yourself, what's the most important place, event, thing, people, experience in my life that I am committed to at this time? How can I remain committed and become gentler and more compassionate, letting go of the grasping, letting go of the feeling of needing to solve it all? Now in your mind's eye, see your Ishtadevata, your chosen form of the divine, that form of the divine that you are most intimate with. What burden are you carrying at this moment that you can at this moment give to the divine, give to your Ishtadevata, give to life? At this moment, let go of that burden. See the burden, feel it. Hold it in your hands. Let it become firm and steady. And now let it go. Give it to the divine. Let go of your desires to hold on, to control. Too often we believe that to help, we have to pick up the emotions of the other. To help, we have to pick up the intensity. To help, we have to pick up the pain that the other might be living with. Too often people come to you, you see those you love, you see what's going on in the world, and you want it to be different than it is. That which I can change is myself. And if you want it to be different, I assure you, wait a breath. You won't see the change, but the change is occurring. Life is changing constantly. You are changing constantly. We are changing constantly. As they like to say in Chicago, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute, it'll change. And that is true spiritually. We must let go of the idea that we must control the world and that we must carry the world. When you do that, when you let go of that idea, the prana of life flows through you. You do not become a bucket that is holding it and is too much to carry. You become a vessel through which the prana may flow, through which you have the capacity to ask all of those helpers. And we're not here alone. The earth and all the realms around us are filled with those who will help us. Soon, if you cannot communicate with them, you will be able to in the not too distant future. Wait a little bit. Your intuition will increase. Quiet your mind, and you'll be able to hear and to see and to communicate without any difficulty. Just give it a few moments. What wears you out? What tires you out? What makes your mind frustrated? What makes your mind sad and uncomfortable is the idea that whatever this is permanent. If it's not good, and whatever it is, if it's good, it's going to go away. As my granny used to say, just wait. The other shoe will drop if you wait long enough. That came from a certain state of consciousness. And so at this time, we're going to go into meditation together. But this lesson of this full moon is really to say strength doesn't have to harden you. You can be strong and not be hard. You can be strong, you can be firm and not be cruel. You can be strong and be compassionate. Think of all of those life circumstances where you have seen someone being strong and compassionate. Think of the surgeon who picks up the instrument and has the courage, the skill, the courage, the strength, and the compassion to cut into the skin and remove the tumor. It wouldn't do you much good if he stood there wringing his hands and say, "Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do this." And he faints when he gets near you. That's not going to be very helpful. He needs to have strength. He needs to have compassion. He needs to have wisdom and skill. The same thing that you and I need on the spiritual path. To be able to be mature on the spiritual path is to be present in all life circumstances. Don't put your head in the sand and pretend like it's not happening. But you don't have to carry it. You can say, "Help me, please. May our meditation be of help. May our prayers be of help." Not praying, gimme, 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 gimme. God's not a cosmic bellhop. The divine ones are not cosmic bellhops. But rather, may this karma be softened. May it all be as harmonious as it can be. And saying that again and again and again. And so, discipline doesn't exhaust you. Responsibility. Let your responsibility flower into compassion. And really the thought of the day that I find the most, one of the most meaningful as I was preparing the teaching and it came to my awareness, I thought, oh, this is really pretty good. Responsibility, the dharma that you have picked up, those people, events, situations, things that you are responsible for. The first being yourself. The first being responsibility to keep your body healthy, your mind healthy, your environment clean. You are responsible for yourself. The world's not responsible for you. You are. I had a student one time who would always say, everybody was so mean to me. Everybody was mean to me. Everybody was mean to me. And I said, explain that to me. A few minutes ago, you said so-and-so came up and talked to you and you had a lovely conversation. How can those two things exist? Well, they exist because you have an error in thinking, and only you can correct that error in thinking. We all have errors in thinking, my beloved. All of us do. We all can correct them as we walk through time. Correct those errors in thinking. But this thought, responsibility is love made visible. When you pick up your responsibility, when you do it with joy, when you do it with consistency, that's the motto of the Capricorn. Joy, consistency, regularity. When you can become reliable. That is your showing love, visibly showing love. I'm sorry, I had a thought arise in my mind that caused my mind to become a little kerfunkled, remembering something that was very beautiful. When you become responsible enough and compassionate enough and kind enough that people come to you and ask you to help them with something that is a deep emotional need, then you know you're doing okay. They're not asking you because you're great. They're not asking you because you're special. They're not asking you because you're holy. They're asking you because you have learned to be steadfast, and they have seen your love. They have seen your compassion. Love and compassion are not abstract concepts. They must demonstrate themselves and flow to life through you. So let us meditate together, have some quiet, and then we will offer our combined spiritual energies in the form of prayer, that together it will help those beings that are in great, great need of help at this time, including Mother Earth herself. Namaste. Sit with your spine erect. Place your hands in the Om Mudra, the index finger and the thumb together. And turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bring the head back to the center and begin to watch the breath. With the next inhalation of the breath, pull the energy from the limbs to the trunk. From the trunk, pull the energy into the spinal column. From the base of the spine, pull the energy up to the sun center. Move that energy as a golden ball of light out in front of you. Expand it. And sweep it around your body counterclockwise. And now ascend. Ascend to the high place. Om Namo 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 Om Namo 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 In your mind's eye, see your Ishtadevata. In front of you is Mount Meru, the highest of the high mountains. Take hold of the hand of your Ishta and ascend to the top of the mountain. Om Namo 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 Reaching the top of the mountain. You and your Ishta and you. In front of you, you see the entrance to a cave. You and your Ishta gaze at the entrance. Ask your Ishta to stand at the entrance to the cave. Your Ishta fills the entrance to the cave. You sit facing your Ishta. And as you watch, a golden orb of light emerges from the Jupiter chakra of the Ishta. Leaving the golden orb of light in the entrance, the Ishta comes to stand by you, to sit by you. Encased in the arms of your Ishta, encased in the arms of the divine. You watch the orb of light grow. And from that orb of light projects forth Prema Yogi. You become aware that Prema is breathing a special Kriya, Premahansa Kriya. As Prema inhales, all of the poisons, all of the karma from around the earth, upon the earth, within the earth is inhaled. As Prema inhales, Premahang, the poisons around, upon, and within the earth are inhaled. As Prema exhales, Prema Sa, Anandic bliss radiates around the earth, upon the earth, within the earth. Inhaling Premahang, the poisons, the karmas are drawn in. Exhaling Premasa, Anandic bliss, it radiates. Inhaling Premahang, Prema draws the poisons. Exhaling Premasa, Prema radiates the bliss. You and your Ishta offer your pranams to Prema. And on this full moon in Capricorn, holding its steadiness, Prema becomes one with the mountain. The compassion of Prema is one with the mountain. The devotion, the steadiness, the durability, the reliability of Prema, unceasing. Breathing Pramaham, Premasa. You see Prema as part of the mountain. And now you know Prema will continue to breathe this Kriya until this mountain is a hill, until the hill is no more. Take hold of the hand of your Ishta. Return to the high place of meditation. O ye powers that be, there are great needs upon the earth. Thou knowest better than we how to soften the karma, how to fulfill the needs. In this moment, we give this offering. In your mind's eye at this moment, bring forth the most beautiful object of life, the most beautiful form of life to you at this moment. Bring it forth in your mind's eye. Breathe in the beauty. See and feel the powers that be. O ye powers that be, we give this to thee, our prana, our compassion, this beautiful form of life, that it will feed thee, that it will feed all beings upon the earth, around the earth, within the earth, and in all lokas. We give of this which we hold most dear at this moment. Feel your offering accepted. Feel it radiating to all realms. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Holding the sweetness, return your attention to the earth when you are ready. When you are ready. Namaste. Thank you for the blessings of your presence, for your spiritual energy in these rituals. Namaste. Namaskar.